This news alert brought to you by Clubs NT. Make your next choice a local club.
Good evening, I'm Kathleen Gazzola with your 9 local news update. Body-worn footage of the fatal police shooting incident that killed Kumanjai Walker has been played to the court for the first time in the committal hearing against Constable Zachary Rolfe. As 9's Zarisha Bradley reports, the judge issued a warning the footage would be confronting.
3 shots can be heard being fired in the body-worn vision as Constable Zachary Rolfe and Adam Eberl attempted to arrest Kumanjai Walker at a house in Yuendamu. Constable Eberl can be heard yelling, "Don't fuck around and I'll f***ing smash you, mate," before the fatal shots are fired. Women scream as officers yell, "Get back." The court heard the officers were deployed as part of an immediate response team to arrest Mr. Walker, who, when they arrived at the home, initially gave them a false name. On the stand today, Mr. Eberl said he heard Mr. Walker say, "I'm going to kill you, mob." He also said he and Mr. Rolfe's body cameras fell off during the ordeal. "Both of ours fell off. All I know is afterwards I picked one up off the ground," he said. Another officer tasked to arrest Mr. Walker, Constable Anthony Hawkins, agreed he said in his statement that he saw the 19-year-old being wrestled by Constable Eberl. As well as Constable Rolfe tried to restrain him and place his Glock to Mr. Walker's torso before pulling the trigger. Both Constable Rolfe and Constable Eberl were saying, "Let go of the scissors," he said. "I even mentioned it myself." He was asked how close the gun was to Mr. Walker's body and responded, "I know it was very close." Referring to his statement, "I might have mentioned point blank or touching," he said. Under cross-examination by Mr. Rolfe's barrister, David Edwardson QC, Mr. Hawkins agreed Mr. Walker wasn't complying with officers even after the second and third shots were fired. The committal hearing will continue tomorrow as a medical expert is expected to give evidence from the United States.
A 29-year-old man charged with sexually assaulting a woman near a beach in Darwin's northern suburbs over the weekend has fronted court. As 9's Ellie Conway reports, he was refused bail.
The man, who cannot be named for legal reasons, will remain in custody until at least next month. He's facing 2 counts of sexual assault without consent and 1 count of aggravated assault against a 28-year-old woman who was taken to hospital after the incident on Friday night near Casuarina Beach. During the bail application, prosecutor Beth March opposed the application, but defence lawyer Gabriel Chipkin argued his client should be granted bail as he had no prior matters of sexual violence, and during interviews with police, he'd told investigators the sex was consensual. Mr. Chipkin also added the man's employer is willing to pay a $5,000 cash surety as a condition of his release. The court heard the man and the complainant are not known to one another. Judge Kerry told the court the charges were extremely serious and that the woman's injuries required surgery, commenting the Crown case appeared strong. Ultimately, he denied the 29-year-old bail. The man will reappear in court on October 28.
2 teenagers have faced Darwin Youth Court on multiple charges today over an alleged crime spree that spanned across Darwin and Palmerston yesterday. The 15 and 13-year-old boys are charged with stealing a vehicle and breaking and entering multiple businesses. Meanwhile, 3 others, aged between 13 and 14, will undergo youth diversion. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more news shortly. Otherwise, to stay up to date, follow 9 News Darwin on Facebook.